Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good
Good
Yes,
morning.
morning.
you are audible, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning. So I think,
Good morning, ma'am.
good morning. So have we started with our unit one?
No, ma'am. We have just started with the introduction part, ma'am.
Okay. Then let's get started with our syllabus. Okay. So I think in the last class we have come across this demand portion, right? Like what is the difference between demand and desire and all. So we will
Yes, ma'am.
start with the concept of demand, its explanation and its impact. Okay, we will come to that. But before that, can anyone tell me that what is this demand? In the last class we have completed now.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is this demand?
Ma'am, when we have the ability to buy a desire we are having, it becomes a demand.
Very good, Anand. So the
Exactly.
willingness or the desire to have it along with the ability to afford is known as the demand for a commodity. Okay. So
Ma'am,
yes, Mandira.
basically the desire plus the ability to buy is demand.
What, Mandira?
The desire plus ability to buy.
Yes, very good. Desire plus ability to buy. Okay. So under this chapter, we will be completing all these headings. That is relationship between price and demand. Then what is this individual and market demand? Then what can be the factors affecting demand? What are the different kinds of goods? Okay. So we will be completing all this. Okay. So coming to the first one, that is relationship between price and demand. So here you can see that there are two graphs. In first graph, we see a direct relationship between price and demand, whereas in the second graph, we see an inverse relationship between price and demand. So can you tell me out of these two graphs, which one is correct? The first one or second one?
The second one.
First
Right.
one.
Acha. Can you tell me?
First one.
Can you tell me the reason behind it?
Ma'am, I
Ma'am,
would
because
say
when
that
the
the
price is high, the demand would be low.
Ma'am, the second one.
If the
the
demand is
second one
high,
exactly,
if the
ma'am.
demand is higher, price can be higher. Like if people want it, they will buy at a higher price too.
Ma'am, as the demand increases, price also be increases.
Ma'am, a person will buy only if uh, it has a accurate price, and if the price is too high, reasonable price. If the price is too high, then the ability to buy will
Reasonable
get
price.
diminished. So there will be no ability to buy. So it won't be a demand.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, so what do you observe here? Can you see? So some of you are saying that there is a direct relationship, and few are saying that there is an inverse relationship. Okay. However, both of these things are justified. How come? Just because in the first graph, what do you see? There is a direct relationship between price and demand. That is, when your demand is increasing, your price is increasing with it. It is a producer perspective. Okay, that is, if a producer marks that, let us say, the demand for mango is increasing in the market, as a result of which, what will happen? He will increase the price of the mango such that now the producer can have a chunk of profit from it. Whereas in the second graph, what do you see? There is an inverse relationship because it has been seen from the consumer perspective. That is, with the increase in the price of the commodity, the quantity demanded by the consumers will be reduced. So that's why there is both a positive relationship and an inverse relationship between price and demand. Is it understood, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So now coming to the next one, that is individual and market demand. So what is this individual demand? Before that, individual demand is a micro concept or macro concept?
The
Micro.
micro.
Micro
Micro
concept.
concept. Very good. Acha. So what is very good, guys. So why individual? What is this individual demand? Individual demand is basically the willingness and ability to buy a commodity by a single individual. Okay, so the demand of a single individual is known as individual demand. However, you can see that it is well represented in this graph and table. So as we are looking it from the consumer perspective, so we will see that there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. So when the price is constantly increasing, as you can see here, from 0.5 to 1, then 1.5, then 2, then 2.5, resulting which the quantity demanded every time falls. That is, earlier it was 7, then from 7 it reduced to 5, then 3.5, and so on. So where this price and the quantity demanded, they combine, that very point is known as A. So here if we are going to plot the point A, that is at 7 units of commodity at 0.5 rupees, we get point A. Similarly at point B, at 1 rupees, we get 5 units of that commodity. So if we go on plotting this point, so we will range it from A to F. And if a curve is passing through it, then that curve is known as the individual demand curve. Is it clear, guys? What is this individual demand curve? Is it understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Could you
Yes, ma'am.
about the
Okay. Coming to the next one, that is market demand. Now, what is this market demand? It's a macro concept or micro concept?
Macro.
ma'am, macro?
Macro concept. Perfect.
Macro.
So what is this market demand? Market demand is basically the sum of all the individual demand present in the market. So just try to look into the first graph and tell me, let us say there are two individuals in the market. Now looking into the graph of individual A, can you tell me what is the quantity demanded at rupees 3?
4.
4 units.
Perfect.
Four.
Perfect.
Four,
And for individual B at rupees 3, what is the quantity demanded?
6.
Ma'am, 6.
Perfect.
6 units.
And then what will be the market demand at rupees 3?
Ma'am, 10.
10. That
10.
is 4
10.
plus 6 is 10. Okay. Similarly, tell me if we consider rupees 1. Okay. So for individual A at rupee 1, what is the quantity demanded?
6.
6.
For individual B,
8.
8.
and what will be the market demand then?
Ma'am, 14.
14.
Okay. So guys, sometimes most of the students, they commit this mistake. Instead of taking it as the sum of the individual demand, they consider it as the average of the individual demand. Okay, which is wrong. So always keep in mind that market demand is basically the sum of all the individual demand in the market. Okay. So now, if you have understood this individual demand and market demand, can you answer me this question? That is, why this market demand curve is flatter than the individual demand curve? You can see this in the graph itself. Your market demand curve is flatter, whereas your individual demand curve is steeper. So what can be the possible reason behind it?
Due to different perception of different individual.
No. How can it be the different perception of different individual? Will that be the different perception of different individual, or the proportion of the demand?
Can be different.
Ma'am, can you show us the graph again?
Sure.
Ma'am, because the quantity gets added up.
Yes. So how can you explain it? The proportionate increase in the quantity demanded is greater in market demand rather than in case of individual demand. So that's why your market demand curve is a flatter one, whereas your individual demand curves are a steeper one. Is it understood?
Yes. Ma'am, if any one of
Yes, Jalil?
ma'am, if any individual have a different perception, if the price is increasing and accordingly the demand is increasing, the market demand will be different.
Look, that can be tabulated under the exception. With the increase in price, if your demand is increasing, then you are biased towards one of the goods. Okay, so maybe
Yeah.
you are maintaining your brand loyalty, or maybe because of your taste and preference for a particular commodity, you just can't give up the commodity even if the price of that particular commodity is not up. Okay, so it can be tabulated under one of the exceptions, but it can't be generalized. Is it understood, Chetan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So is it clear? Is it clear to everyone? All these three things: relationship, individual, and market demand. Any
Ma'am, can you once again explain market demand?
where are you confused, Swati? Would you let me know?
Ma'am, that individual A and individual B, that you were comparing these two.
Let us say you are one individual and I am one individual, and both of us is what the market comprises of. Okay, so at rupees 3 I'm demanding 5 products, and at rupees 3 you are demanding 4 product. So for the market at rupees 3, how many products are demanded? You have demanded 5, I have demanded 4 at rupees 3. And in the market, we are just the only two individuals. So what is the market demand of the product at rupees 3?
9 products.
That's what the market demand is. Is it understood now, Swati?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, चलो perfect. और किसी को कोई डाउट है या आगे बढ़े? Okay, so coming to the next one, that is the factors affecting demand. Okay, but before going to that, let me ask you these questions. For suppose you have been to a mall, you saw a jeans, okay, and you want to purchase it, you want to buy it. So what can be the possible factors affecting the demand for that jeans?
The quality of the jeans.
The quality,
The quality and the price.
The price
quality
of
and price. Perfect. We got two things. One is of price, another one is quality. Then
Size isn't available.
Return of investment.
size, color, brand, everything is included under your quality. Okay, irrespective of that,
Ma'am, like, what if like return of investment?
Usage.
it is required. That's why you are buying now.
ma'am, our
Return
budget.
of investment.
Budget, very good, Swati. That can be one of the reasons. That is budget or income. Okay, so we have got 3 reasons: price, quality, and income. Anything else?
Ma'am, advertisement.
Advertisement. Very good,
Return of
Ayush.
investment.
4th one is advertisement. Then Ayushman,
Return of investment.
what Ayushman?
Return of investment.
Return of investment.
Yes,
What
ma'am,
what do you understand by that return of investment? Can you narrate?
yes, ma'am, like for example, like we spend like 10 rupees on the jeans, like is that really worth it for that, like for that product?
Yeah,
Like that.
that can be one of the reasons, but that can't be the relevant reason. Okay,
Ma'am,
most relevant reason.
number of people who are demanding for the product.
Number of people who are demanding for the product. Okay, so you're talking about the popularity, right?
Trend.
Kind of.
When special
Are you going
schemes.
to buy the entire stock, Anurag, or are you willing?
Value for the money.
Okay.
Ma'am, I just want to ask something. The budget also comes under the price, right? It should not
No,
Right.
it won't come. It won't come. Both are different. If we are talking about the price, okay, that is what you are seeing it. Then after seeing the price, you have to look into the pocket whether you have it or not. Okay, so that is income or money in your pocket.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so well done, guys.
Ma'am, if
Many of
any
you-
scheme is there or not.
Acha, so that may be in upcoming future what will be the change in the price of the product, right? Is it Sneh?
Yes.
Okay, so very good, guys. Many of you have pointed many significant reasons. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the most relevant reasons that are going to affect your demand. So price is one of them. Okay, if the price is very high, you won't be interested to buy that jeans. Okay, because you have to look into the income. So there comes income, which is another factor that is affecting your demand. If your income is high, then if the price falls in your budget, then you will be pretty much interested to buy the jeans. Coming to the next one, that is advertisement or feedback. If the popularity or feedback of the jeans is very good, okay, then you will like to try that. Okay, it is followed up with the advertisement or promotion. That is, if you have heard a lot about the jeans, okay, then you will be very much interested to have one. The next one is taste and habit, where your preference will also go, or your market trend will also go. For example, like last year, there was a huge trend for this ribbed jeans. Okay, resulting which whatever may be the price of that jeans, people were very much interested to be in the trend or in fashion. As a result of which, they want to have it. Okay, the next one is quality. Okay, if the quality is good, then you will be interested to have more of it. So there are two remaining things, that is expectation of change in the price in future and price of related goods. This price of related goods, we will come to it later on. Talking about expectation of change in price in future, I'm giving you an example. Let us say the price of that jeans is 4,000. Okay, and you get to know that after 1 week there will be a sale, and in the sale the price of jeans will again be lowered down. As a result of which, whether you will be interested to buy it now or you will wait for the future time, which one will be your option?
Ma'am, we
Charan?
will wait for the future
Wait
time.
for the
Later.
Future time.
Exactly. Okay, so that is how it is going to affect the demand for their jeans. Okay, the last one comes, that is price of related goods, and under this related goods we will be talking about two types of goods, that is substitute goods as well as your complementary goods. So anyone has any idea about what is the substitute good is? हम किसको substitute good बोल सकते हैं? कोई idea है? Any example?
Ma'am, suppose when we are talking about jeans, so suppose if the jeans is like price, like costier, then we can go for leggings or something like that if we are talking about girls. So that may be a substitute code.
Okay, can we simply change the brand of the jeans? Will
Ma'am,
that
like
be?
Yeah,
ma'am,
that can be done also. Like
That
if
can
the
Okay.
other brand is cheaper.
Swati, I'm simply giving you an example. Okay, you tell me. Okay, let us say you saw a jeans of H&M. Okay, you're doing this online shopping. You saw this jeans of H&M, and the price is pretty much high. Okay, so you saw a similar jeans of Levi's. Okay, and now what happens? You are not that fond of Levi's. Okay, so can this jeans of Levi's be one of the substitute for this H&M jeans?
Ma'am, you confused me because you said I don't like Levi's, so I'm
Yes.
confused now.
So you don't like Levi's, but you're wearing this H&M. Okay, you saw that. Okay, so you tell me one thing. Can this be a substitute?
It can be, but maybe not for me because I don't like Levi's.
Exactly my point. Okay, so when we talk about, guys, try to understand this difference. Generally we say that substitute good means एक के जगह कोई दूसरा commodity. Okay, वो नहीं होता है substitute goods. Substitute goods are the goods which can be used in place of other, keeping the level of satisfaction similar. ठीक है, तुम्हें जो satisfaction H&M से मिल रहा है, अगर वही satisfaction तुम्हें Levi's से मिल रहा होता, तभी ये दोनों जीन्स सब्स्टिट्यूट का काम कर सकते हैं, else not. Okay, for example, your tea and coffee, if the price of tea is increasing and you are willing or you're fond of coffee, then only this coffee can be the substitute of tea. Is it understood?
ma'am, books and ebooks also be
Yes,
example.
ma'am.
Okay, Arman.
Ma'am, books and ebooks will be an example.
Books and ebooks, if you're comfortable with both, then it can be.
Otherwise, new
Ma'am, but
books or second-hand books.
Yes. Okay.
yeah, ma'am.
So,
Ma'am, but ma'am, ma'am, substitute good is a type of product, ma'am. Like, ma'am, it's a type which substitute the product, but for the same purpose.
exactly, fulfilling the same purpose, but it has to give you the same level of satisfaction. That is very much important. Okay, so now tell me one thing, guys. If the price of tea is increasing, okay, you are having tea and the price of tea is increasing, what will happen to the demand for coffee? Whether it will increase or decrease?
It will remain the same because those who are tea lovers, they would always go for tea, right?
Acha, if you are fond of both tea and coffee, okay, and it is a substitute,
then it would increase.
Ma'am, the demand of coffee will increase, ma'am.
Very good. The demand for coffee will increase. Guys, try to understand when I am saying it is a substitute good, that means that a person will get a similar level of satisfaction from both the commodity. Okay, that's what the definition of substitute goods is. Okay, so if I'm saying the price of tea is increasing, now what will happen to the demand for coffee? Whether it will increase or decrease?
Increase.
इट विल इंक्रीज, क्योंकि अगर चाय का प्राइस बढ़ रहा है तो ऑब्वियसली लोग चाय कम पिएंगे और वही टाइम में कॉफी ज्यादा कंज्यूम करना चाहेंगे क्योंकि कॉफी का प्राइस बदल नहीं रहा है. इज इट अंडरस्टूड?
लेकिन मैम अगर चाय का प्राइस बढ़ रहा है लेकिन वो फिर भी कॉफी से कम हो,
Okay, then you will stick to that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so see, these are some of the examples of substitute goods like Pepsi and Coke, or your Starbucks or Costa Coffee, or your Domino's or Pizza Hut. These are few of the examples under substitute goods. And here what do you see? There is a direct relationship, that is when the price of coffee is increasing, then the quantity demanded for coffee will also increase. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's come to the next one, that is complementary goods. What is this complementary goods? Complementary goods are basically joint goods. That is, you can only consume one good when you will be consuming it with other. Are you getting my point? So let us say bread and butter, okay, or if you will say car and petrol. So let us say bread and butter or your car and petrol. Okay, so when we will be saying that we are consuming such type of goods, then these are known as complementary goods. एक कंज्यूम करने के लिए जब तुम्हें दूसरे कमोडिटी का हेल्प चाहिए होता है, उसको हम कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री गुड्स कहते हैं. So if the price of petrol will increase, what will happen to the demand for the cars that are running through petrol? Whether it will increase or decrease?
The price will decrease.
It will decrease. The demand for those kind of cars will decrease because the car is running only and only through petrol. And if the price of petrol will increase, then the demand for the cars that are running through petrol will fall. And people will start opting for EV. Is it understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. However, for detailed analysis, I have provided you with a table from an academy. Okay. You can just go through the difference and figure it out. Okay. So try to answer this one. If the price of tea increases, what will happen to the demand for coffee? It will increase or decrease?
Increase.
Increase.
It will increase. Okay. Very good. So coming to the next one. So we are clear till this. Okay. Then let us come to first law of demand. Then we will move to types of goods. Okay. So coming down to the law of demand. So what is this law of demand says? This law of demand says that keeping all other factors as constant, if price and quantity demanded are inversely related. पहली बात, ये जो keeping all other factors as constant हम लोग बोलते हैं, this is nothing but your ceteris paribus. This term means keeping all other factors as constant. So keeping all other factors as constant if price and quantity demanded are inversely related. But what can be these factors remaining constant? These factors are nothing but all those factors except your price, because here we are establishing the relationship between price and demand. So your income will remain constant, your expectation of change in price will be constant, quality, price of related goods, your advertisement, taste and habit, everything will remain constant. That's what the assumptions are under your law of demand. So what is this law of demand? The law of demand states that ceteris paribus, the price is inversely associated with quantity demanded. And what is the ceteris paribus comprises of? all these factors which will be held constant under assumption. Is it understood the assumptions and what is the law of demand?
No, ma'am.
Not clear?
No, ma'am.
Not clear, ma'am.
Okay. This law of demand states that सारे फैक्टर को हम कांस्टेंट रखेंगे. जैसे कि सपोज आई विल से दैट इनकम इज कांस्टेंट. Okay, if you are earning 500 rupees, this 500 rupees will remain same. ना ये बढ़ेगा और ना ही ये घटेगा. अगर ये 500 रुपए सेम रहा तो हमेशा ये प्राइस और डिमांड इनवर्सली रिलेटेड होगा. हम लोग क्यों ये फैक्टर्स को कांस्टेंट ले रहे हैं? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर तुम्हारा इनकम पहले था 500 रुपीज, लेट अस से, ठीक है, अभी हो गया 5000, पर at that point of time the price of that thing was, let us say, 50 rupees. Okay, so 500 रुपए जब तुम्हारा बजट था और वो प्राइस 50 rupees था, so you were a bit doubtful whether to take it or not. But now if your income will increase from 500 to 5000, so irrespective of whatever may be the price, you will be interested to go for the product. So that's why, to avoid such kind of confusion, the income is held constant. So that's why we keep all these factors as constant, and then only we can establish an inverse relationship between price and demand. Is it understood, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's what your law of demand states. That is, keeping all other factors as constant, your price and quantity demanded are inversely related. That's why you can see with the increase in price, your quantity demanded falls, or with your decrease in price, your quantity demanded increases. Is it understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so ये जो assumptions है, इसके अंदर सारे factors आएंगे. The factors that we are willing to held as constant. Okay, so just check it out here. All those factors that we have discussed here, all these factors will be held constant. Okay, then only we will see that with the decrease in price, your quantity demand will increase, and accordingly we will plot this graph. However, in this table we will see that here I have only decreased the price, but what you can do is you can increase the price and likewise you can decrease the demand. That may be in a proportionate or disproportionate way. No issues. Is it understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now,
Can you say that again, ma'am?
yes,
The last thing you said, ma'am, about the chart.
this one. I said
Yes.
that, see here, price is falling and quantity demanded is increasing. You can reverse it. You can make it like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and here the quantity demanded will be reversed. Okay, when your
Okay.
price is falling, quantity will increase. When your price is increasing, or quantity will fall. That's the difference. Okay, understood now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Now coming to the reasons behind law of demand. So guys, as you can see here, there are 5 reasons behind law of demand, but let us complete one, the first one, that is utility maximizing behavior. So guys, try to understand these laws prominently because they are very much crucial. Okay, from this only you will get reasoning based questions. So try to understand. The first one is your utility maximizing behavior. And what is this utility maximizing behavior? This utility maximizing behavior is known as your law of diminishing marginal utility. But first you tell me, what do you understand by diminishing? According to a layman, diminishing का मतलब
Reducing.
perfect, decreasing or reducing. What is this marginal?
Very low. Value of the marginal
Very low.
The
Okay,
boundary.
But here in economics, okay, but here in economics, marginal means one more, an extra, an additional unit is marginal. Remember it. Marginal means one extra, an additional. And what is this utility? Utility is the satisfaction, okay, in economics. Okay, so what do you understand? Diminishing marginal utility. Diminishing means reducing, marginal means one extra, utility means satisfaction. That means your satisfaction reduces with one extra consumption of the commodity. Okay, so what is this law of diminishing marginal utility states? So this law of diminishing marginal utility states that when you go on consuming more and more units of a particular commodity consecutively, then the satisfaction derived from an extra unit of a commodity falls every time. Is it understood? या सब ऊपर से चला गया?
Ma'am, please repeat once again.
Yes, ma'am, repeat, please.
I won't repeat it. You will understand it. But I can help you with an example. Okay. ये example के through समझने का कोशिश करो. Suppose you go to a gym, you do the workout, okay, and you are very tired and thirsty. Okay. You come back home, you ask your mama for a glass of water. So instead of one glass of water, she gets you 2 glasses of water. Okay, so you immediately had a glass of water, then you saw another glass is still there, so you drank that also. Tell me one thing guys, किससे ज्यादा satisfaction मिलेगा, पहले ग्लास से या दूसरे ग्लास से?
First class.
First glass. Look, now you are clear about this law of diminishing marginal utility. That's what this law is all about. That is, when you go on consuming an extra unit of a commodity consecutively, then the satisfaction derived from that extra unit every time will fall. मतलब पहले ग्लास से जितना satisfaction मिल रहा था, दूसरे ग्लास से वो कम मिलेगा, तीसरे ग्लास से वो और भी कम मिलेगा. Is it understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear, everyone? Okay. So if you are clear, can you tell me how this law of diminishing marginal utility can be a reason behind law of demand? ये प्राइस और डिमांड में जो इनवर्स रिलेशनशिप है ना, उसके पीछे ये लॉ ऑफ डिमिनिशिंग मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी का क्या हाथ है?
Ma'am, because generally if a customer likes a product, he or she tends to buy more of it. So like the demand of it increases, and at the same time, the satisfaction level of the customer decreases because of the.
Then Ayushman, what about the price? You have missed it. Missed the concept of price.
As the person is day by day not satisfied, the price will soon reduce down.
Look, what happens? It's not the market perception. It needs to be the consumer perception. It's not that if the demand is decreasing, then the price will fall. No, it's not like that. You have to change. You have to mark your perception towards it. Okay, that's why what the reason is. Okay, just try to understand. Your demand is very much associated with satisfaction. Okay, when you go, what does your law of diminishing marginal utility states? It states that whenever you consume one extra unit of a commodity, your satisfaction level falls. So for example, you are demanding a piece of bread, and a piece of bread is rupees 10. So when you consume another piece of bread, still the price remains same, that is 10 rupees. So what will happen now? You will only be interested to demand one extra unit of bread when the price is low. Because now if you are buying a piece of bread, you are not getting the satisfaction worth rupees 10. So that's why your demand will only be higher if the price reduces. So if the price reduces from 10 to 6, then only you will be interested to demand for one extra piece of bread, because that's what your satisfaction matches with the price. Is it understood?
And can you repeat that one more time?
एक पीस ब्रेड के लिए तुम 10 रुपए पे कर रहे हो, ठीक है? दूसरा पीस भी जब ब्रेड खा रहे हो तभी भी 10 रुपए पे कर रहे हो. तो यहाँ क्या हो रहा है? तुम्हारा लेवल ऑफ सेटिस्फैक्शन घटता जा रहा है, ठीक है? तीसरा पीस ब्रेड खाने के लिए तुम और इंटरेस्टेड नहीं होगे 10 रुपए देने के लिए, क्योंकि तुम्हारा सेटिस्फैक्शन ऑलरेडी घट चुका है. बट तुम वही ब्रेड एक्स्ट्रा पीस कब खरीदोगे? जब वो ब्रेड का प्राइस घटेगा फ्रॉम 10 to 6. Then only you will be interested to buy it. So in this way, this law of diminishing marginal utility results or can be a reason behind the inverse relationship between price and demand. अब समझ आया?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear to everyone or anyone has got anything to ask?
मैम वो पार्सल ब्रेड भी तो ले सकता है कम पैसे में.
And we are assuming that there is no change in the product.
Yes, assuming
There's no
that
change,
there
for
is
example.
no, there won't be any change. No, that's what the law of demand says. All the factors will be held constant. Your assumption states now all the related factors will be held constant. Okay, so what are the exceptions? That remains as an exception. We will not take that into consideration.
Ma'am, so all this you're discussing about is all just
All right,
about
ma'am.
consumer aspect, right? Like
Yes.
earlier you showed two graphs, right? One was
Yes,
from
yes.
producer
As I
side.
have told you, the very first unit, we will look into it from consumer perspective. So don't bring this producer perspective here just because at one point of time, you can either think as a consumer or as a producer. You just can't think both as a consumer and a producer at the same point of time. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
But ma'am, if we say ki, like someone is selling for 10 and 2 for 18, that would be like one bread for 10 and two bread for 18.
That's what your bargaining skill will define, Janet. It has to do nothing with this law.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so anyone has got anything to ask from this? So आज के लिए उतना करें या you have the capacity to learn more today?
From both sides. And that is my
Okay, so let's go for the roll call. But before that, let me tell you, we are left out with all these 4 reasons. Then we will learn about what are the exceptions to law of demand, then the types of goods, and ultimately the difference between change in demand and change in quantity demanded. Okay, so then we will be, yes?
Ma'am, we won't be getting this PDF today, right?
No,
Because
we
you
won't
haven't-
get that. You people will not get that. तुम्हारा क्लास नेक्स्ट कब है? इकोनॉमिक्स कल है? फ्राइडे है ना? फ्राइडे फॉर श्योर यू विल गेट दैट.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Friday you will
Okay, ma'am.
get. Okay. The reason being I am yet to complete it. Okay, so once I'm done with it, then only I will share it with you. Okay, so just remind me in the next class that we will start after this law of diminishing marginal utility. Okay, as I'm taking a number of sections, so I may forget from where to start, so just remind me once. Okay. So let's go for the roll call.